Get ready for the Bigfoot, guys.
Let's see how quickly narratives change.
While Peter Hotez demands censorship and international action against foreign countries, he has contradicted himself at virtually every turn throughout the COVID era. In the first year, when Trump was still president, Hotez warned about the dangers of rushing vaccines under emergency use authorization.
I don't think EUAs have a place for vaccines. We've never done an emergency use authorization for a major vaccine released to the public. What does that mean? We know it's a lesser quality review. What's the FDA going to do to ensure public safety?
While Hotez may have had political motivations to cast doubt on the coronavirus products, he had good reason to be concerned. In March 2020, Hotez gave congressional testimony to warn about the dangers of coronavirus vaccines.
One of the things that we're not hearing a lot about is the unique potential safety problem of coronavirus vaccine. With certain types of respiratory virus vaccines, you get immunized, and then when you get actually exposed to the virus, you get this kind of paradoxical immune enhancement phenomenon. We started developing coronavirus vaccines, and our colleagues, we noticed in laboratory animals that they started to show some of the same immune pathology that resembled what had happened 50 years earlier. So we said, oh my God, this is going to be problematic.
Well,
okay, let me point something out here. This is probably the only part where this guy is actually truthful. It's quite amazing how that narrative will change depending upon who's in power. But did you catch the part, folks, when he said 50 years ago? 50 years ago, they had discovered that coronavirus makes a very good weapons platform.
Yep, they were making bioweapons in Wuhan, China,
Yep.
Because it was not allowed on the American continent. Canada was not allowed to do so. America and Mexico was not allowed to do so. So they went overseas.
There's actually I'm looking into something. There's a tie to actually a bio lab in Winnipeg, in Canada.
Yeah, there was wasn't there some Chinese scientists that were arrested in that deal?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking of the same thing.
And they also worked in Wuhan, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that says enough,
Yeah, they were literally caught transferring specimens on public planes, flying back and forth to China from Canada. And same thing for the United States.
Yeah.
They were carrying the shit right on the freaking plane.
Yeah, and then wonder how come people get sick. It's just like,
Yeah, gee.
how does that happen? Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
And that's the things that our governments, none of them want to talk about.
Yeah.
Let's continue right here real quick with this guy. I'll get done with this knucklehead. And see how his narrative changes.
Mr.
Hotez warned
Poophead.
against fast-tracking a vaccine. He was appointed by Anthony Fauci to lead an NIH program with pharmaceutical executives, the Gates Foundation, and others that did exactly that. In May 2020, anticipating public concern about what he had admitted was rushed testing, potentially unsafe products, and a new platform, Hotez wrote that the communications and missteps around the rollout of COVID-19 vaccines may require a period of damage control, and called for the White House and NIH to shape a well-crafted vaccine communication plan and designate a trusted spokesperson who can articulate and carry the message, an apparent reference to himself. Once the FDA had given emergency use authorization, Hotez reversed his public stance.
So what's your reaction to this approval then of this second vaccine?
Yeah, it's fantastic. The emergency use authorization closely approximates the full approval process. So
You got your money.
Nothing really rushed. Any vaccine.
Go ahead, Roger.
You got your money, man. It's like here we have a lot of money, to just sell our product, and then suddenly he changes. Oh, it was a good product, nothing wrong with that. We haven't tested it. Oops, sorry, said that, and he got his money, man. He's driving around in the Porsche and stuff like that. It's
Well, we can't say anything we can't prove.
well, that's
Exactly.
true.
Yeah.
That's true, but he does change his stance on the subject.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. Keep playing it. You'll get more riled up, Roger.
Makes me angry, man.
Released by emergency use authorization by the FDA is an outstanding vaccine.
Take whatever vaccine is really offered to you.
Hotez said that once enough people were injected with 2 doses, viral transmission would stop and other measures would no longer be necessary.
Yeah, hear that? Okay, let's see what happens.
News is good. It's saying even after 6 months, it still looks like it's really strong and durable. So this is going to be a long-lasting vaccine.
Here's something I'd like to interject. Everything we say, we have to prove. And even that doesn't stop us from getting pinched.
Yeah.
But yet this guy can come up and spew this bullshit. When
He's only starting to spew it.
None of this had any clinical proof.
Single dose is not very effective, but 2 doses fully vaccinated people are.
A week or 2 after the second dose, the masks can start to come off.
And guess what? You can have everything you've asked for in terms of not requiring social distancing and masks. We can have an extraordinary quality of life.
This is time limited. It's not in perpetuity, Wolf.
This is not in perpetuity. We are going to vaccinate our way out of this epidemic starting in the summer.
Yeah,
if
right.
enough Americans get vaccinated, we could actually halt virus transmission, potentially.
If you do the simple math, I did a back of the envelope calculation.
Once you get over
I can do a back of the envelope calculation too. I can figure out this guy's full of shit.
65% of the population with a single dose of the vaccine and 50% 2 doses, the amount of transmission will really start to decline.
60 to 70%, 60 to 80% threshold.
We need to get to about 75% before we interrupt
Shut
transmission.
up, man.
About 3/4
I mean,
of the US
come on.
population.
Roughly 80%.
My ears are bleeding when I hear this guy.
Hold on. It gets way better. It gets way better, Roger. It gets way better.
Of the U.S. population.
2 doses turned to 3.
I think ultimately a 3rd immunization with the mRNA vaccines will probably be needed at some point.
We thought there was a pretty high likelihood we might have to give a 3rd immunization down the line anyway at some point, because we had no idea about the durability of any protection of any of these vaccines.
So if you got a 2-dose.
Did you hear that there? Did you hear
that? I heard.
Durability of
it's
any
amazing.
protection of any of these.
We didn't know anything about the durability. Doesn't that counter their claim that he just fucking made?
Yep, it does.
It's amazing, man.
God, I'd like to bitch slap the
vaccine. So if you got a 2-dose Pfizer Moderna vaccine, think of it as a 3-dose vaccine. We ultimately will need to give a 3rd immunization, and I've been pretty much saying that all along. This was always a 3-dose vaccine.
No, you haven't.
So this was all predicted.
Oh, God damn it.
Yep. Went from this is a very durable vaccine to this is not very durable. We gotta have to
People
give
don't know
more.
I haven't watched this whole thing yet. This is my first time watching it, so.
It makes me angry, man, because a lot of
Feel bad, Roger. Feel bad.
There are so many.
Pop a cork, and I don't do that very often.
There are so many people that have like disabilities because of this whole inoculation bullshit. And it's very, very sad to see. These people are not compensated, because it's your own choice, right? No, these people were pressured. They were pressured by government.
I have direct personal experience of that.
All right.
I know.
Continuing.
And predictable. I've always said this is a 3-dose vaccine. 2 mRNA vaccines were always a 3-dose vaccine. We've known for a while that this was going to be a 3-dose vaccine. The big unknown is what happens to those of us who got 3 doses. I don't have the answer. You need that third immunization to get a 30 to 40-fold rise. After you get that third immunization, you do get a big boost in virus neutralizing antibodies.
By November 2021, the US population had met what Hotez and the government called fully vaccinated.
Today, we hit two important milestones. 80% of adults now have at least their first shot, and 70% of adults are now fully vaccinated.
But the goalposts were shifted, and the booster campaign was just getting started.
And we're going to have to change the definition of fully vaccinated. What counts as full immunization will be 3 doses just because we gave those first 2 doses so close together. The idea that 2 immunizations constitutes full immunizations is not even close. You need that booster, and you probably
Yeah, you need a 4th and a 5th and a 6th and the 7th and a 100th, and you know, it's like, oh my God, man.
You know what I want to know?
Don't steal his glory there, Roger.
What I want to know is, how in the hell does a person like this literally live with themselves? How do they do that?
He's a snake, man.
This man has not an ounce of fucking integrity at all. None.
Oh, it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse as you keep playing
the second booster. If you've gotten a single boost and you're eligible, get your second boost.
The solution here is just continue mass vaccination as aggressively as possible.
That's right.
Are you?
Oh, fuck off. Oh, you gotta be kidding me.
Expecting, as a result, for these vaccines to essentially become a twice yearly thing?
Of course, with mRNA, that may be what's required. You need 2 boosters. You're going to need a 3rd booster. 2 boosts really makes the difference. Get your second.
2 boosters. They've been available for a little over a week. Who should get them?
Well, anyone who's eligible. Once you're more than out 4 or 5 months from your last booster.
No matter where you're at, maximize out your vaccinations. And even if you've gotten a single booster, you need 2 boosters.
Now's the time to get a booster if you haven't been boosted in a while.
2 to 4 months out, you're going to need a 3rd booster as well, a 5th immunization. 3rd boosters, meaning 5th immunizations, new bivalent booster. You want to get Paxlovid. That gives you an extra layer of protection as well. You need to get that booster. People need to get their bivalent booster. And
the important message that I have this morning is get your new bivalent booster. If you've not gotten it, you have to get it.
They're talking about the 3rd shot. And is that the bivalent, or is it the 4th booster, or does it matter? Like, can you help?
She can't even keep track of how fucking many they are. You know, this is akin to having a flat tire and you keep putting air in the son of a bitch, but yet you never plug the damn hole.
And the tire gets flat again, you know. And
exactly.
Then, oh, we got some air here, you know. Yeah. It's like, what the hell, man?
Crap, I can't believe.
Me understand.
So before Elise was asking me that very question, I said, don't worry so much about the number of boosters. Worry about when you got your last booster.
Okay.
Attempting to boost ourselves out of this pandemic is, in my opinion.
Wait a minute. I think YouTube banned this guy. I'm pretty sure.
The immunological equivalent of heroin addiction. Okay. And
yep, I'm right. They banned this guy.
What I mean by that is that we're trying to get, we're trying to squeeze more and more benefit, but which we're not getting. We're getting less and less benefit for more and more risk of side effects. The more doses, the worse it gets. So this is counterproductive. It's not just that it's not working; it's counterproductive.
When Johnson & Johnson's product was pulled after causing blood clots,
the J&J vaccine does cause a rare serious event, cerebral thrombotic event.
Hotez continued to push them.
Well, I don't have concern about the vaccine. It's a good vaccine. It's an excellent vaccine.
After years of blaming,
I'd like to ask this guy, how many jabs have you got, guy?
0, I bet. You know, it's like he's selling it and he's not even using it himself. You know, and lots of people do this. So for the money, man.
Oh.
The unvaccinated for the virus, demanding censorship and seeking to criminalize criticism.
Demanding censorship and criminalizing people who dissent. Imagine that. Imagine that.
Hotez casually admitted that the injections, in fact, don't stop transmission.
We are not stopping infection anyway, but no, the booster's actually keeping people out of the hospital.
Well, Peter Hotez demands censorship.
Oh, sorry, people. I don't normally lose my cool like that, but
Yeah, that can boil the blood.
And shove it right up that guy's. Yeah.
That can boil the blood, you know. It's like, oh my God, you got this nerdy type, you know, and selling all this shit, and it's like, what the hell, man? You know, he's swimming in money and basically giving no crap about other people, you know, and he's living the rich life now. Been on television, got contracts for that, you know. You're a television doctor. Yeah, people trust that. Really sickening, man. Really, really sickening. What has the world become? I'm sorry, I'm on a tangent here.
You know, that right there is a good representation of you got to be absolutely brain dead to listen to that and to not understand that this whole damn thing that they've done the past 3 years was the largest sham pulled on humanity. And unfortunately, it's not without consequences.
Yeah, they're playing with us, you know. If they want to wage a war, it's not their sons going to war, right? It's our sons and daughters and neighbors and whatever, you know. Not theirs. Nope. They control the enemy in most cases, right?
It's not, the thing is, Roger, they literally destroyed families, they destroyed friends, they destroyed economics, they destroyed communities and societies. You couldn't go to church, but you could go to a fucking BLM protest.
Yeah, because that's politically motivated, you know.
Why they had the mayor of the town out there dancing around like it's some fucking festival.
You know.
Oh, I gotta calm down. I'm swearing way too much. Sorry about that, Brian.